In South St. Louis, St. Mary's High School students go about another day on campus at this all-boys Catholic school. And here, an everyday thing that typically isn't given a second thought, such as opening the doors and walking through, is a little more high-tech than most schools. It's called facial recognition technology. This particular software reads over 360 points on a face, and within a fraction of a second, it matches the face at the door to a face and name in its school database, allowing students and staff access through the doors and into school.
Not even have a second. Not have a second. It's so fast.
The building's definitely more secure. I like it.
If the face is unknown to the school database, like my own, I can't get into school unless the front desk decides to let me in. The system can also be used to lock out known threats, alerting the school and police just as quickly.
We didn't really need it. I mean, there were no really security concerns before, but just to have that extra layer is kind of, it makes you feel safe.
So why then St. Mary's?
It's pretty awesome that we're the first school, I think, in the nation to have it.
The camera system is new to the market and based in St. Louis. The tech startup is called Blue Line, and the client list is growing. Blue Line says the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration will now be using its facial recognition technology for investigations. A big deal for Blue Line. The founders all have years of law enforcement experience with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Being part of the Men and Women in Blue is what led to their alliance with Blue Line. It all started when Detective Marcos Silva developed the software for facial recognition. It wasn't long before St. Louis Metropolitan PD's Major Joe Speece would come aboard.
It's an extensive, almost 1 million pages of software that he wrote. We ended up forming an LLC.
Marcos's wife, Lindsay Silva, is Blue Line's operations manager. She explains why it was so easy for those in this new alliance to have faith in Marcos and his idea.
This was pretty much just a figment of imagination years ago when I first married him. A lot of times he comes up with a lot of unique ideas throughout his career. He has built electrical cars, build drones. So when he comes to me with a new technology idea, I'm just like, okay.
Marcos is still a detective of intelligence for the police department, which is why he's not part of the daily grind of Blue Line.
I became his voice because it does take a lot of time and a lot of footwork into this.
As his voice, Lindsay explains how the technology works.
Facial recognition technology is pretty much like a mapping of your face. We apply facial definitions. What we try and do is acquire high definition cameras, as high quality as you can get, and then we place it within a setting. We actually pretty much map it. We actually teach it to its surroundings, adjust the camera a little bit to the lighting. Once it starts to recognize a face, it actually starts from your eyes, and it actually starts to move forward, down your nose, around your cheek to your chin. And as much as it can read, it will. We have trained our facial recognition technology to read over 360 points. If it can find more, it will within that split second. We've also trained it to where it does facial mapping to, if you partially enter the video screen, it can actually figure out, if I have one half of this face, I'm going to flip it over the axis and finish the face for you and still try to define a result out of just that quick image.
Growing security to an all-new level is an opportunity Joe Speece could not pass up. Recently retiring from the police force, Speece is Blue Line's CEO. Once Blue Line was established as a startup company, the next thrilling moment in its journey happened at the Mel Carnahan Courthouse in downtown St. Louis. The facial recognition technology successfully stopped a man who was threatening people by saying he was going to bring guns into court. He ended up not having guns on him, but it shows that technology worked. The threat was serious enough to have 3 retired police officers stationed on the steps of the courthouse. It was a typical busy morning, and the man managed to slip by trained sets of eyes. But he couldn't get past this. The success story made local news headlines, giving Blue Line momentum to pitch its system for so many possible applications. One pitch is for stores.
So if it's somebody that's a chronic thief, within a fraction of a second, the security personnel get immediate notification that Joe Spees, who's a chronic thief, just walked in. So we also have developed an email messaging process. Not only does security get on their computer screen that immediate notification, it can also go to multiple emails. So that allows you that reaction and prevention strategy in that scenario at a prevention of a theft, where the manager or the security personnel can walk up and prevent the theft before it ever happens.
Security is also a top concern for hospital systems.
Posted on the walls, all over the walls, will be people they're trying to keep out using a human recognition process, so that a guard who's very busy and processing a lot of information as he sits there, or she sits there, now they don't have to do that.
Blue Line is also targeting potential clients who could add another layer to existing security measures.
What we call affectionately dynamite rooms, a lot of companies have them. Maybe it's your data area, maybe it's your financial record keeping area. Maybe you're a chemical company and you want where your research and development is being done protected better.
And the technology is portable, which means it can be used for any number of events to stop possible threats.
We're not trying to hit everybody. You're in there for a reason, because you're an ISIS threat, or I'm a thief, or she's writing bad checks all over St. Louis. Whoever you are and why ever you're in there. Maybe it's a positive thing. If I go to the casino once a week and I'm spending good money, my hard-earned money, gambling, and I want to be in the rewards program for one of our area casinos, and they tell you, hey, you want to be in our facial rec rewards program? And I say yes. Think of the power of that if you're a casino. Because every time I come in, my phone's going to go, hey, Joe, welcome back. Hope you have a good day. Stop by for dinner. Great way to market to your best customers, whether you're in a casino or whoever it is.
Just as Blue Line strikes a deal with the DEA, Spees says his team is working its way into contract talks with high-profile businesses and corporations, and Spees says school districts in Missouri are asking them to pitch the system at school board meetings. Spees says he believes their facial recognition technology is affordable and effective, which is why interest is growing.
When an alert is in our system, once you're immediately passing through our camera, there's an email being sent out. So now I'm going to switch Gabe to an alert. This is if Gabe got fired and is not allowed into our company no more. So now Gabe is actually an alert. He cannot access the door, so he's waiting patiently for somebody to open it. And immediately an email alert is actually sent out. So the source image is there of what we took the picture with Gabe. And actually this correlates with the picture that was actually taken, and all the information is here: Hackett entrance, the location, timestamp, and any notes that were there.
But what if two people look alike, almost identical?
That's why we use so much facial mapping, and that's why we have high quality cameras. The way that we have actually engineered our facial technology is that we're not putting in millions of people in the database that, as you can say, may look alike. We're taking one business, understanding the way that they want to use it, and actually only using it for the people that they want.
Mistaken identity is not the only issue the technology has to overcome. Invasion of privacy is another.
So here's how we address the invasion of privacy issue. The database that we create is specific to the need. And if you're a chronic thief, or if you're an employee of my company and I want to use it to keep control of ingress and egress and relate it to payroll, and make sure that you're not stealing from me, that's my choice. If you don't like it, go get another job. Those are the databases we want. Specific uses, specific people, and if it's not you, we're not keeping you. It'll look at you. If it says, I don't know Kathleen, you're gone. If you're an ISIS knucklehead coming into O'Hare Airport, we want to notify Homeland Security immediately to keep our country safe. That's a specific database of people that our facial rec technology is going to hit and notify. And all the things in between are going to happen. And you should be stopped and prevented from doing what you want to do.
At St. Mary's, these students don't feel it's an invasion of privacy. In fact, they say they don't even notice the camera anymore.
Because the door is already open before you can even really think about it. You really don't know that it's there because it's so quick.
Quickly becoming just another day at school.